The hotel that I love like my homeland is located in one of the greatest European ports, and heavy gold letters opposite each other, which its banal name is written, are in my eyes metal flags raised with sparkles instead of waving. Other men return to the warmth of their homes, to their wives and children. I return to the chandeliers in the lobby, to the maid and to the doorman, and I always manage to play this role so perfectly that the formal process of arriving at the hotel doesn't even begin. The look with which the doorman welcomes me is superior to a paternal embrace. The receptionist stands up and welcomes me with a broad smile and a deep bow. It's as if my arrival makes him so happy that his back alone can't contain all his joy, and he pushes it between his lips. His greeting is professional and human at the same time. The groom takes the arm of my suitcase. That's how angels spread their wings. No one asks how long I plan to stay, an hour or a year. When I open the window in my room, the outside world enters my room. The sirens of the ship can be heard from afar. I picked up the phone, no to call but to say good morning to the phone operator. He often connects me and informs me for any small problems. During breakfast he carries the news of the newspapers, and when the postman brings me money, he informs me, celebrating discreetly. The reception manager looks at the two watches closely, as if he is waiting to catch one or the other, in the act of losing a second. Finally puts his watch back in his pocket with a disappointed expression that is the visual equivalent of a deep sigh. He arranges two large books, one on top of the other, lined up exactly. Lightly he pushes the desk phone next to the inkwell, aligns the register with a pen, and blows away some imaginary speck of dust. No one dares to disturb him. Sometimes the receptionist bows and smiles, and then you see a smile almost like a yawn, that immediately spreads to the rest of the faces of the others. This customer walks between the smiling faces of the staff, as if he were walking between two rows of lit light. Finally he heads for the exit. From the solemn majesty with which he pushes the revolving doors, one can tell who has just left the hotel. This waiter is so old that everyone in the hotel simply calls him Old Man. Employees and customers alike have probably forgotten his own name, since it has been useless for so many years. He is well groomed and completely bald, and yet his eyebrows, thanks to a stanch whim of nature, have remained blonde. He is still observant. He sees and watches everything as before, only his movements have become slower. The customers and the old man speak their native language of their time, that has passed and is passing. That is why they understand each other, is why they wait for each other. The waiter never married, he has no children and no siblings. He was always alone in the hotel, the child of this hotel. Of great importance unknown to many, and yes, invisible, live in the basement of the famous hotel. The chef most of the days sits in the middle of the large kitchen in a cubicle with glass windows, in a small house that is which is completely a window, invisible from everywhere, seeing everything around. 8 cooks and 4 apprentices are in the kitchen, dressed in white with snow-white caps on their heads, long wooden spoons in their hands, among 8 metal cauldrons from which silvery steam rises at irregular intervals, and in their bellies, reddish fire glow reminiscent of a fake theater stage. He goes home. He has a nice house, 3 children, a beautiful young wife, whose photo he keeps in a drawer in the glass cabinet. He showed it to me once. I'm sure he hasn't shown it to anyone else. When Annette turned 28 and still hadn't found a man, she went to a jeweler on Rue de la Providence, who had countless wedding rings in his windows, and bought one. She has been working since she was 18. This is where her humble career began. She found it more satisfying to clean 20 rooms every morning for unknown and constantly changing customers, rather than 8 or 10, for the same permanently settled gentleman, on whom her salary depended. Annette certainly had experience. She knows her stuff and does her job quickly. The sink takes her 5 minutes, the bed 3, the table 2. The gentlemen leave their clothes on the backs of the chairs. This complicates things a bit. The hotel's regulations do not allow the removal of what the customer leaves on the table. However, the table must be cleaned. She has 1 hour for lunch break, so she heads downstairs, next to the kitchen, at the long, narrow staff table that reminds me of the tables in orphanages. If things continue like this, in another 5 years, Annette will surely become the head of the rooms.